Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are the Mile High Property Brothers. Today, an urgent one. We're in the same clothes, which means we haven't even slept.
Imagine that.
Or we're filming this right after the last one because it's urgent and we want to make sure we get you guys information. But today, we will be talking about a market update for you specifically, what that means for you, and everything it looks like.
All right, let's check it out. What's up, guys? I'm Eli Schmidt. This is my partner, Will Grimes, and if it's your first time checking out the channel, welcome. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way, every Tuesday and every Thursday, you get notified whenever we drop a new one of these, telling you everything there is to know about moving to or living in the entire Denver, Colorado area.
100%. And we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, which means just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that is popping up below, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if we can help you, we would love to. But with that being said, urgent updates, as in real time, right? Like not urgent like you need to call 911.
Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
Urgent as in real time, what's going on? Is it a great time to be a buyer? If you're a seller right now and then also that has to buy, what does that look like for you? What are your options? And from having our finger on the pulse, what does it look like currently with the buyers that we have coming through every single month? And yes, guys, it's still steady. And there are some great things, there are some great options. We have buyers that are taking advantage of that right now. And that's what we want to speak to you guys about, the actual context of what's going on, not just theoretical what we could tell you, but what buyers really are capitalizing on right now.
All right, guys, so we're going to talk from real life experience and the transactions that we've been doing with our clients and some of the success stories that we've been having over the past few months since interest rates have done what they've done.
Not only just from our client experience, but guys, I actually bought again not too long ago because
personal experience,
from personal experience. And we are going from Castle Rock, where we've been at, and we bought again in Southeast Aurora in South Shore, an amazing spot. And that's because we were having another baby. Some of you know that. And it was just a lot better with the newborn coming to be closer to family because they help us a lot with everything that we do, so we decided to buy. And we found an amazing Toll Brothers house that has literally every upgrade you could think of, plus an additional $150,000 upgrade stuff that clients did, plus all of the landscape. There's about $190,000 of landscape that had been done on this house. Not only did we get this at a super competitive price below what they originally marketed for, but we also got the concessions paid for a what's called 2-1 buy down, and that's he's going to get into it and explain it. But guys, there are no penalties as far as taking one of those. There are no restrictions as far as when you can refinance. It does have to come from seller. Sellers are happy to do it because right now, and if you're a seller right now, consider this, even though you're giving some of your equity as far as giving a buy down or a concession, because we're still 11% higher than we were last year. If you've owned your home for a couple of years, you still have plenty of equity you can afford to give some of that up in order to incentivize buyers. And once you go buy again, seller, you're also going to benefit from the same strategic opportunities as well. But coming from personal experience, guys, that buy down put me at a 4.5.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, right? And like, I'm gonna have no penalties. If I wanna refinance that within the next 3 years, within the next 6 months, whatever that looks like for us as rates continue to come down. Fannie and Freddie did announce that they will be bringing rates down next year. So whenever that comes down to a point where I feel like I can get a better rate, I can refi with no penalty, guys. So super cool, super great opportunities. But most importantly, guys, I wanted to put my family not just into a home that was close to my family so we could logistically operate as a family, but I wanted to have a nice home that I enjoyed, that I appreciate, that I was proud of. I wanted to still have the home that I wanted. And right now with the inventory with where it's at, plus the incentives with buyers, not only was that possible for me, but it's possible for a lot of our buyers every month as we speak.
That's true. So let's look at what exactly a 2-1 buy down is. Now, I was just talking on the phone with one of our viewers yesterday, and he's like, yeah, I've heard of that, man, but there's been so much weird mortgage stuff in the past. I'm kind of weary. And I'm like, hey, man, rightfully so. However, this is not one of those things. No. And really, since the 2008 crash, there is so much red tape with mortgages now. They don't have the weird mortgage programs that you saw pre-2008. They've taken care of that problem. So a 2-1 buy down is where you get concessions from the seller in a certain amount, a certain percentage point based on the price price of the home, which more often than not, sellers are more than willing to do if it means getting a decent offer on their home. And what that does is that buys down your interest rate 2 points below the par rate of where we're at today. So if we're at 7% today, you're going to be at 5% for the first year, and then it's going to be a 1 point reduction for the second year. So then it's going up to 6% for the second year. Then the third year going after, it's going to be what par is today. It's not going up to 9, it's not going up to 10, it would just go up to 7.
So 3 years from now, it would go to that 7, and that's if you don't do any refis within the next 3 years when you find a better rate, right? So now this does have to come from the seller, and like he said, sellers are happy to do that right now as long as they've got a solid offer from a buyer because they've got plenty of equity in their home in order to do that. And again, they reap benefit from things like that, right? So, and we don't want to get too much into detail with that. It's obviously going to be predicated on credit scores and maybe some other down payment money that you guys would like to bring yourself. Everybody's circumstances is different. Everybody's portfolio with how they'd like to approach it is different. So if you guys have questions as far as going further in depth with that, we can obviously get you introduced to our preferred lender, Scott Leffert, who does a great job. We can also answer some questions for you guys if that's needed. But again, without being specific to your needs, it's hard to do that. But another benefit that we have is inspections. Guys, this is a traditional time in the market to where when you're going through and you're under contract on a home and then there's some things that pop up under your inspection, it's now not a huge deal for you to ask for some things for sellers to either give concessions in order to have the money to fix them or just have those fixed prior to closing. Why am I mentioning that? Because 9 months ago, guys, when inventory was very low and people were throwing 100 grand, 150 grand, 75 grand over asking price just to win a home, they were also waiving their ability to have what's called an inspection objection, which means they could have an inspection, but they couldn't ask for anything from the sellers because there were so many people trying to get into a home. Sellers didn't have to accommodate anybody. They could just, hey, we're gonna sell this home as is, and if you don't like it, well, we're just gonna move on. We're not putting any money into an inspection objection. Well, now, just like sellers are okay to do like some buy downs and things like that and get creative, they're also okay with having a traditional inspection and taking care of some items for you because they're happy that you're there and you're a buyer. And if you can get some things fixed on the home that you love, on the home that you want to be in because you have the inventory to look and the time to find it, well, you'd prefer having some things fixed because it's the home that you guys want. And I will say this, guys, just kind of shooting from the hip, folks that bought 9 months ago, folks that bought a year ago, I don't know if they love that home. I hope they do. We had a lot of clients that still love the home that we won for them. But we're talking bigger than just Will and Eli and the clients that we have. A lot of folks bought the home that they could. And I'll be curious to see what they do and if they end up selling that home in the next year to year and a half, which is only going to increase some inventory for us as well, right? But right now you guys have the opportunity to only have some things mitigated and fixed on your home. You have the opportunity to find the home that you actually want to live in addition to still having a reasonable rate.
Now, 2 more situations that we're seeing right now that do get you a really good, reasonable interest rate is one that we've talked about before, and that is just a typical buy down of the interest rate. Now, the 2-1 buy down is a temporary buy down of the interest rate, right? And that is a less expensive option that gets you a significant reduction in your interest rate. Now, a slightly more expensive option, but a permanent buy down in the interest rate is just a regular buy down. This can be money that comes from you. This can be money that comes from the seller. Either one can be applied to buy down the interest rate, and that is more of a permanent solution. But we do see a lot of people going to the 2-1 buy down because, again, it still buys it down for 3 years. And again, with the ability to refi within that time frame, it ends up being a good option. And then the last one is builder incentives. Now, if we're looking at a new build route, go ahead. Go ahead.
Last video, he was talking about kickoffs and other stuff, and it took an hour just to get him to say kickoff right.
That's true.
I jumped the gun. I wasn't sure if he was going to mention new builds. I apologize.
When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong.
Moving forward, yes, when it comes to new builds, and new build construction is super cool right now. We've done some videos on it. Long story short, yes, go back and watch our recent new build video in addition to the tours that we've been doing. But long story short, inventory is up for them. Build cost is down for them, which means their overall price point is down and competitive. So not only do you have inventory on new builds, you've got competitive prices on new builds, and you've got lender incentives on new builds. So, man, a lot of cool stuff about new builds.
Now, with these lender incentives, you do have to use their lender, and that's really how they're able to, a lot of them are, I know they gotta be losing money on the lending side, but they're willing to do that to get you to buy the house because they're making up the margins over there. So they either have lending companies that they've partnered with or in-house lending companies that is part of their company, their build company. Because they own that, they're able to give drastic reductions. So for example, we just did a Richmond not too long ago where their incentive, first of all, the home, we got $30,000 on their asking price, but then we got a 5.25 interest rate when the normal interest rates were at 7.
Correct.
Again, again, you've got to go with their lender, but man, a lot of times it's really worth
Well,
it.
and guys, even if they're losing money up front, like they're not stupid. They understand that, hey, if they can give you guys a better rate right now, they're going to win that loan.
Yep.
And guess what? When it's time to refi, they'll probably alert you saying to refi because they don't want you refining somewhere else.
Yeah.
They'd rather just give you the better rate and refi with them because then the life of the loan and the life of that house is under them. So in the long run, they're still making money. They're still surviving. They're just finding creative ways to incentivize you guys as buyers, especially because build cost is down, inventory is up. And if inventory is up, that's cool. But they also want to make sure that they get that sold. So could that be a big opportunity for you guys? Absolutely. And hey, if you guys watched our other video when we were talking about moving in the winter, could that also be a big opportunity because of the inventory opportunity? And hey, we got more sunny days than anywhere and you guys could still move in the winter. Absolutely. And then the last thing we'll kind of leave you with is yes, traditional lenders still have some of their own incentives that they can throw your guys' way. Sometimes they're not as good as what a new build preferred lender can do because of the programs they have and how committed they are to 1,500 homes, 2,000 home builds.
Yeah.
But it's still worth the gander. It's still worth comparing and contrasting. But either way, guys, with everything that we've spoken about today, you have a ton of opportunity. And yes, hey, if you're a seller, yes, getting creative, being flexible to help buyers is a huge thing. But when you go buy, whether it's in Colorado or if you're moving out of state, you need somebody to help you out, we can help you out of state as well. But either way, you're going to be benefiting from this as a buyer. So the first half of your deal as a seller, yep, get creative, be flexible. But the second half, you're benefiting. So it's all going to come out in the wash. It's still a great time as far as you guys being creative. And then just speaking from personal experience, being able to find a house I still love and enjoy to put my family in, hey, that was still important, right? It's great school districts. It's a corner lot. It's awesome. Consider that in addition to just deals. This isn't just about money. This is about finding the home you guys want to be in as well. And in order to help you with that, we're going to throw that number back up below, right? And remind you that we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado. And yes, just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that's still there, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if we can help you, we would love to. Well, with that being said, you guys enjoy your week, the rest of it, and your weekend. We will see you guys very soon.
All right. See you guys.